Hey friends, it's Justin Mansfield with the BMP Network, brokered by Exp Realty. I've lived in Arizona for 37 years, so I know Arizona quite well. Today I'm here at Academy Mortgage to talk to my friend Aaron Flowman. Let's step inside. Today we're going to meet with Aaron. He's going to go over the loan and lending process and how to get pre-qualified. Hey Aaron, thanks for sitting down with me today and answering some questions that I have.
Justin, I really appreciate you stopping by with me today, and I can always, you know me, I'm always available to answer any questions you have on lending.
After we find a house, what does the lending process look like?
All right, so with the lending process, we'll receive a contract from either the seller's agent or the buyer's agent. Sometimes the transaction recorder might send it over to us. We will go ahead and review your contract when it comes over for complete, accuracy, any type of, details on that we may need to, complete through the process. What's your escrow deposit, what's your HOA costs, is there any HOA, is there any type of things like seller concessions, how long is your business period, just so we can kind of gauge, when we need to order an appraisal. Once we have reviewed the contract, we'll look at ordering title work, and title's going to go through and they check all the property status. They'll go through and make sure there's no other liens on it. They're kind of your protection from some other type of lien coming on your house at a different time. While we're waiting for the title work, we'll re-review the documents you've sent over us in the past during the pre-qual stages. Typically it'd be myself or my assistant Bryant. We'll look at everything you've already reviewed. We'll send it to our processor. Our processor does the same kind of thing. We'll look at everything to make sure everything's complete and accurate, so when we send it over to an underwriter, they have pretty much a complete file that they can look at. And this all takes over maybe about 15 to 20 days, just kind of throughout the process. So while the client's going through their appraisal and inspection on the home, we're kind of doing all this behind the scenes. So once the file goes to an underwriter is going to look at the file to make sure it is compliant. So the underwriter is going to look at the completeness of the file. They're going to look at the income, the assets, and the credit that we all looked at during the lending process or during the pre-qual process that we discussed earlier. And they'll make sure that everything is going to be compliant with the different types of programs. So if you have a conventional loan or an FHA or a down payment assistance loan or a USDA, any different type of loan program, they all have different guides that are produced for those different types of loan programs. The loan programs, typically those guides are 1,000 pages long. So there's all kinds of different ways that they explain how a loan can be a loan. The underwriter is going to make sure at that point that the file is complete and compliant with those different types of files. So if it's a VA loan, they're going to make sure that the VA can purchase the loan at the end of the process. And then after they look at it, a lot of times they're going to come back and say, we need a few more items from the borrower just to finish up the file. It could be from your income or assets or something that they just want to have a little more information on. We'll get that from the borrower, and that will initiate the final approval. Once we have final approval, the file will go into closing, which is essentially the last stage for us. They work with the title company to make sure everything is in balance, to make sure that the customer knows exactly how much they're going to need to bring to closing. And they'll set up the signing with the client. Once the client goes to signing, and it could happen that day, they could sign and take keys the same day. Sometimes they sign a few days before and they take keys at closing. It's all based on when the title company will end up recording the file. So that's set up on the end of close of escrow date.